Welcome back to Kinshasha's Kitchen. Today we're gonna be doing candy apples. And in order to do candy apples, I'm doing 7 large apples. So I'll be doing 4-3-1, which means 4 cups of sugar. Let's get to 4 cups of sugar. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, this should be 4. 4. 3 cups of water. In this water, this measuring cup is 4 cups, and this is the 4 at the top, but I have it down here to the 3 mark. So I'm gonna pour in 3 cups of water. And now I'll do 1 cup of cornstarch. 1 cup of cornstarch. Just a little easy trick. You can spray Pam or any nonstick spray inside of your cup. And I'm just doing light corn syrup. I had a little bit left in this one, but I also already had this on hand just in case. So we're gonna use what's already open first. And we may end up having to use the new bottle. It is fall season, so fall season is always known for candy apples. People make more candy apples in the fall. It's cooler, so they make better. You don't have to worry about them being tacky or being, because the heat makes them tacky. So if it's cool in your house, which you want it cool in your house when you're making candy apples, because of that reason, you want to make sure your apples don't go like kind of tacky on you. So now let's open up the other one. We want to make sure we do a full cup. And the ratio again is 4, 3, and 1. Okay. And this is my 1 cup of light corn syrup. Remember, when you're making candy apples, once you your candy start making, you do not want it to, you don't want to stir it once your candy start making. So therefore, you'll go ahead and add all your ingredients, your syrup, your water, your sugar. You'll also add in, do as many drops as you like. You know how red you like your apple. Always use a gel base. So I'll just remember to always use a gel base. I don't know if you can see how red that is. if you're wanting like measurements, about 5 drops. About 5 drops. And also, you would like to add just a little vanilla. You can do the butter vanilla or any kind. You don't have to worry about it evaporating or not giving the flavor. About a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half. Completely up to you. You do not take a lot of it, okay? And you just want that just for that little good flavor, that vanilla flavor to be in your apples. After you mix up all of your ingredients, you will stir in your sugar, water, corn syrup with your food coloring and your splash of vanilla. Just a splash, not a lot, just a little. And you will stir it in, make sure it's dissolving. You will need a candy thermometer. Your candy thermometer, when you insert it, make sure it don't touch the bottom of your pan. You want your thermometer to get up to 3. Me personally, I like to do 350. 300 is fine because that will make your candy hard. But I like mine to be really crunchy, like, and thin. I don't like candy real thick either. So that's why this ratio will be a better. You don't want you want it to be able, you can eat it. You don't want to break your tooth or anything like that. You want to enjoy it. You don't want it real thick. And so that's what this is. Now that this is all the way mixed up, I don't feel any thickness of the sugar in the bottom. Nothing is clumpy. You want to turn on your fire and you will put it on about medium. Actually do it to your range. You know how everybody's stove works differently. Put in your thermometer, making sure it do not touch the bottom, and put it down there. You cannot mess with it. Let your candy make. It will climax to 300. Once you get to 300 or 350, your candy is ready and you'll start your dipping process. So I'm going to pause the video while this is making and let it bubble back as it starts making and performing. I'll turn on the video so you can see the next step, okay? Again, we are doing candy apples. 4 cups of sugar, 3 cups of water, 1 cup of Karo syrup. Be back. I need to do a correction. I said I get my candy to 350. Correction, 310. 300 will make in hard, brittle candy. I just like to make sure mine is at 310. So I want to come back and do a correction with that. The candy is still boiling right now, and the thermometer is only at 150. And like I said before, once you start the process, you do not want to tamper with your candy. Once you start trying to stir your candy while it's making, you will have lumps and bubbles and all that in it. So just let your candy be. Let the pot do the work for you. As I said before, make sure when you mix your 4 cups of sugar, 3 cups of water, 1 cup of corn syrup, stir it with your candy spatula. This is a candy spatula, and that's what it looks like, a candy spatula. Once you stir it real good with your candy spatula, making sure that everything is blended, that the sugar has dissolved, and you'll be able to tell because as you stir, there's no lumps and there's no clumpiness, and it just flows real smoothly. Once you have done that, add your flavoring. You can do any flavoring. You can do the strawberry flavoring. You can do vanilla butter flavoring, pineapple flavoring, whatever flavor you want to do. I typically do strawberry flavoring, but this time I'm doing in just a hint of vanilla, just a hint of it. And I said like a teaspoon or a teaspoon and a half, your call on that. Go ahead and add it in, or you can do it at the end process. If you do it at the end process, drop it in quickly, stir, and then start dipping your apples. I have my apples already cleaned, and I already have the sticks in them. Just so you know, let me show you. Just so you know, once you poke your apples, you always want to go around your edges of the stick. That's to absorb any kind of water or anything like that, okay? That's to also eliminate bubbles in your candy. You want your candy smooth. You want a lot of people like to use Granny Smith apples, and that is fine. I love Honey Crisp apples. Honey Crisp apples are my favorite. I love Honey Crisp and I love the Jonathan apples. So our supermarket, of course, didn't have any Jonathan apples because it's not in season, but Honey Crisp, they are in the fall. So I got Honey Crisp. But you can use Red Delicious. Use any apple you like. People like to do the Granny Smith because it's really tangy, tart with the sweet. Honey Crisp is a sweet tart apple. It is a sweet tart apple. So I'm just going back around this so y'all can see what I'm doing and just making sure that there's no there's nothing. And this is how they look. They are so good. Oh, that looks bruised right there. I didn't even catch that. I always try to watch my apples and look at them really good when I'm buying them. Because some of them, they're apples. They will bruise. So, how you wash your apples. I use a vegetable brush with a cleanser. I soak them and I spray them with this. And then I use my vegetable brush. This is a vegetable brush. And I scrub my apples with them. And then I put them on a towel, let them dry. You can clean them how you want to. Some people drop them in hot water really quick, then put them in an ice cold bath afterwards. I don't do that. It's just a preference thing. You choose how you want to do your food, your stuff. I always say this, everyone does things differently because it's your kitchen. Do it how you like it, whatever fits for you. And that's okay. That's okay. So the thermometer now is at 200. Remember, 300 is a hard crack candy. So if you're making candy brittle, or you can use your candy thermometer, 300 is excellent. That's what you want it as. I like mine at 310. 310. And you can do with this recipe, You can do, like, these are 7 large apples, so I did 4, 3, and 1. I will have candy left over, but also I have some grapes that I thought about doing. So if I still have a lot of candy left over, I may do a little grapes, but if not, I'll just discard it. It's fine. It is fine. My thermometer just kind of flopped over to the side. But as long as it don't touch the bottom, it's fine. You never want your thermometer to touch the bottom of the pan because it won't be an accurate reading because it'll be sitting right on the fire. So, and it is boiling. It is making. Also, like I was saying, as for your settings, I have an electric range, so therefore I put mine on 5, in which that's like in medium. You could put yours at however you know your range. You know what your range will hold and do. So, and it'll do this really rapid boil is the candy is making in this process. And so, like I said, try not to mess with it. Of course, do not stir it, most definitely. Do not tamper with your candy. Just let it boil, let it make, it'll automatically thicken, and it will fall over to the side. That's fine, as long as your candy thermometer do not touch the bottom. I just like to prop mine up so I can see it better. Just so I can see it, to because I kind of babysit mine. I kind of watch it a little bit, but that's just me. There it goes. I kind of watch mine, see where I'm at. Yeah, making sure that it is doing what it needs to do. But this is what it looks like. Let me move this in a little bit more so you can kind of see. This is what it looks like when it starts. And it's not quite at 250 yet, so you're just letting it boil, letting it do its own thing. So we'll pause the video once it's the dipping process. So I'm gonna pause it for now, and then I'll come right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. The candy's still making as of now. It's almost at 250. I just wanted to come back on here to let you know too, you have to be patient when making candy. You cannot rush it. It is in slow process, but it will come up to your 300 or 310 mark, whichever you prefer. 300 is perfect. It gives you that hard crack candy. Let's give it just a tad bit over just to make sure it's that hard crack because I like mine to be crisp and thin. So, but just wanted to come back on here and let you know that the process is not a fast process. You have to have patience, and it will help build your patience, especially in the kitchen cooking. So I wanted to come on here just to let you know that when you're making your candied apples, you must be patient. Let your candy do its thing. That is it. That's all you can do. Because if you try to take it before it hits that 300 mark, you'll have like in kind of like a marshmallowy taffy like texture. You don't want that. You just wasted your apples. You wasted your time. So take your time. Let your candy get up to 300 or 310. 300, perfect. 310 is still perfect. So patience is key. Like I said, I've been pausing the video so it does not seem as long, of course. But the process is very lengthy. It is a lengthy process. It's not a fast process. So if you're expecting it to be, okay, I'm gonna make this candy and it's fast, then you're gonna have to rethink it and repace yourself because the process is lengthy. So I'm gonna pause it again. Let the candy finish processing. It's finally up to 250 right now. So I'm just gonna let it go the extra mile that it needs to go, because remember, it's only at 250. I think I want to say 250 you'll use for caramel. So if you want to make like a caramel toppings or anything like that, you'll want it at that 250 mark, but it needs to submerge over that amount because we want it hard crack candy. So anyways, like I said, I'm gonna pause the video again, let the candy continuously make, and I cannot wait for the dipping process so we can see the results. So that's my main thing, because I want to take my time and do it. And it's hard. It's hard not to mess with it, y'all. It's hard not to stick something in it just to see. And I know that it's not ready, but it is just so hard. But in the kitchen, cooking different things will help build that your patience. It will help build your patience and help you be able to either do something else while you're in the kitchen or something. Because like I said, with candy, you will need the house to be cool anyway. So if you're gonna store it, you gotta store it somewhere where it's cool. So if you have like a back room or somewhere cool, or you store it in your fridge if you have the room, or however, whatever. But keep yourself busy so you're not thinking about your candy. So, anyways, I'll pause it. I'll be back in a few.